Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the LTT Podcast. My name is BrendenPlayz, and again, we are late. We've done it again. We have made this show on Friday instead of Thursday, and it's my bad. I apologize. We'll get to the reason in a moment, but of course you can find this podcast on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and of course on the YouTube. And I mention these because if you are listening to the show, but you primarily listen to it on YouTube probably, well, there are other ways to consume the show and other ways to check it out. And if you check out those other ways, if you're on the go, you're on the train, on the bus, whatever you're doing at the gym, you can put the podcast on iTunes or whatever and listen to the background whilst you're having your run, you're at the gym or on the train, playing a game on your phone, whatever you're doing, scroll on Facebook. It's easy to have the podcast on the background. So I just wanted to mention that. So it is available on other platforms for you guys to check out as well. Okay, so I messed up. I messed up this week. And I messed up because I got my days wrong. I thought today, being Friday, was Thursday. So I am a day behind. So I messed up. Yesterday I uploaded a new Universe Mode episode, and I was not meant to do that. I was meant to upload the podcast because it was a Thursday. But me thinking it was Wednesday, I went ahead and uploaded that. And then today I got on my computer and said, okay, what am I going to upload today? What am I going to do today? And I said, oh crap, it's Friday. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I messed up again. And just a quick little note. If you're ever going to make YouTube videos, if you're serious about making YouTube videos, don't do what I do. Do not follow this. I make videos for the day. So I will get on and I will record the footage. Sometimes I will record it in advance, rarely, but sometimes. But for the most part, I will do everything I need to do for the video on the day, and then I will upload it. And then tomorrow, I'll do the same. I'll do a brand new video every single day. If you're ever going to make YouTube videos, you need to make videos in advance. You need to have 1 or 2 or 3, as many videos as you can stacked up, and then you can upload it, and then you don't have to make a video for the day, or you keep making videos and you've just got so many to go. You've stored up. You've got heaps of videos, because if you're like me, and this weekend I'm going away, I won't be available, I can't stream, can't make videos, and now I'm screwed because I don't have any videos to upload because I'm stupid and I don't back them up. I don't make lots of videos at once and then have heaps ready to go for the week. I don't do that. I wish I did, but I don't. So it's frustrating, and as I said, yes, I'm going away this weekend. My girlfriend's family's coming down, so I have to go and do all that. So I will be away. So yes, I can't stream. We'll talk more about the stream in a moment. Can't make videos, so there's going to be a few days where I won't be making videos. And it's interesting because I will be going away as well for Christmas and for New Year's. So over probably from the 22nd of December until maybe January 2nd or 3rd, or I don't even know, around New Year's time, I will be away, I will be gone. So I guess a lot of you guys will probably be doing the same, celebrating Christmas with your families and not really caring about YouTube videos and playing your new games you get for Christmas or doing whatever you're going to do. But yeah, so I won't be around too much. I'm hoping to, contradicting what I just said before, I'm hoping to back up and make a lot of videos, so I'll have 4 or 5, hopefully 10 videos to go over Christmas time. It probably won't happen. I'll probably get a few done, but if I start now, then who knows, I might get a few done. But yeah, so fingers crossed I can force myself to do that. That would be fantastic, so I don't have to go a week and a half or 2 weeks, whatever it is, without uploading. So, because if I do, I will be really annoyed at myself. I hate doing that. So hopefully I can do that. And speaking of my stream I mentioned a moment ago, just want to say thank you so much to anyone who has come along to my streams over the last week or so, whatever it's been. I want to really thank you guys. It's been really, really fun. I've really wanted to stream for the last couple of years, and I haven't really streamed a lot, mainly just stream my Universe Mode pay-per-views. Sometimes I'll flick my stream on for the odd stream of me playing Fortnite with friends or whatever, but rarely will I stream, and it's something that I need to do more often, something I've always wanted to do more, but the reason being is I just haven't really had a game that I wanted to play, a game that I wanted to stream, and I think I found my game. I play TEW, Total Extreme Wrestling, all the time. Every week I'm always playing it. If I have a good mod that I'm playing, I'm really into it, I will play it every day. But for the most part, I always will want to try and play it. So I figured, hey, why not just stream it? Let's do a stream series. The YouTube series that I'm doing is great. Everyone loves it. So let's try something on the stream. And it's worked really well. We've had 100 plus viewers, which is really good for me. Every time I'm streaming, sometimes we've had 150. On the weekend, I think we had nearly 200. Really, really good. So I want to say thank you so much to everyone that has come along to the streams and supported it, watched it, enjoyed it, interacted with it. It's really made me want to do more. And I will definitely be doing more. Probably try and do a couple next week before I go away. But as I said, definitely over the Christmas time, I won't be able to. So that's going to be frustrating. I wanted to do one on Thursday, aka Friday morning. And I think this is the reason why I got my days mixed up. Because I work on American time in terms of videos. So yesterday I tweeted out, hey, I would love to do another stream on Thursday night, aka Friday morning. So I'm thinking, okay, Thursday, it's Thursday, I can do that, and I can do the podcast later on, whatever. No, it was actually Friday, so I'm just, I'm getting mixed up because I'm trying to work on two different time zones. That's just frustrating, and it's just putting me off. So I'm going to be a little bit more better organized. I do admit that. I could really work on that. But so just speaking of me going away, next week we should be able to get a show in. But then that Christmas week we'll definitely miss one. And I don't know about the New Year's week. I could just check right now. Most likely I probably will. So we've got the 28th is next Thursday, is the Thursday of Christmas. And then the 4th of January is the week after. So I think I should be back for the 4th of January. I will make it a point to be back for the 4th of January so I don't miss a show there. So we'll miss 1 week over Christmas time, which is okay because it's going to be the Christmas Raw. And let's be honest, what's going to happen that week? Probably a whole lot of nothing. So we probably won't miss too much. But this week on the show, we do have the Clash of Champions coming up this weekend. And I will definitely be watching that. So we're going to talk about the Clash of Champions pay-per-view, give my full predictions. WWE has also announced a new show, the WWE Mixed Challenge and things like that. And it's a lot to really talk about, lots of news and things to get into. That's not really Raw or SmackDown related. Raw and SmackDown, a bit of a quiet week, but there's a few other little things I want to get into this week as well. And if we have some questions as well, at the end, we'll answer them as well. It's on my mind right now. I haven't actually got it written down, but I just want to kind of mention before we get into the show, Paige. So Paige put out, Paige was on Lillian Garcia's podcast, maybe last week or this week, but basically it's a tell-all podcast. She tells everything that's been going on with her life in the last year and a half, really in depth, really in detail, and she explains it all. She explains everything except her relationship with Del Rio. Didn't really talk about that, but she talks about the sex tape, how she was suicidal, her family issues growing up, her return to the ring, her injury, everything that's kind of been going on in her life for the last year or so. She kind of mentions it all and kind of tells us all about it. So if you are a Paige fan, or if you're like me, just interested in what the hell has been going on with Paige, check out that podcast because it was about an hour and 45 minutes long. I listened to the whole thing. Definitely worth it. It was sad at times. It was emotional. She got emotional, but it was very revealing. So you'll definitely hear a lot. And if you are interested about what her thoughts were on the sex tape and all that, there's some interesting things in there. So check that podcast out, Lillian Garcia's podcast. I forget the name of it. Maybe Chasing Glory or something like that. I don't know, but you'll find it. Just look up her and her podcast. It's on YouTube as well, so you'll be able to find it there. Okay, so we'll move on. We'll talk about Raw to begin with, as we always do. And I want to say Raw was a good episode this week because we had 3 really, really solid matches. And there was no real surprise that we had that because we looked at what they were promising. And you look at that and go, okay, these all should be pretty good. So we had the Shield involved in 3 matches. The best one being Roman Reigns and Cesaro. That was a really, really good match. I love that one. We had Sheamus and Seth Rollins, I think it was. Sheamus and Seth Rollins, which was good. That was fine. And then Samoa Joe and Dean Ambrose, which first time those 2 guys have met as well. And that was a good one too. So, yeah, so it's 3 strong matches on Raw to kind of shape the show up. And also the main event, Braun Strowman and Kane with the winner going on to take Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. It turned out to be a draw, so clearly, I guess the plan is obviously a triple threat match, and that gives another unique match. Kane's never taken on Lesnar, apparently, and Braun Strowman has versed Lesnar recently, but you add in Kane, it's a little bit different, so that's fine. And also, it could mean that, you know, it's just a battle of the giants, really. You know, Kane, Strowman, two big men, and Lesnar's a beast too. So it'll be an interesting dynamic, an interesting matchup, and I'm sure the build will be pretty fun to watch. Again, probably Strowman will win. Kane can take the pin. Lesnar will win. Kane will take the pin. Strowman will probably be taken out by Kane or Lesnar or whatever, which kind of sucks. I would love to see Strowman win the championship. I really would. I'm a huge fan of Strowman right now. People ask me, who's your favorite? Definitely Strowman. I love everything that he's been doing, but it just seems as though the plan is Reigns and Lesnar for WrestleMania. They've stuck to it all year. Lesnar's not losing that belt. He's going to have a whole year run with the belt. Why? I have no idea. It's not been a good run. Not been a good run. It's been very, very frustrating, very, very disappointing. And if you ask me, I think Lesnar is probably having one of his worst years. It's just same old from Lesnar. He's not looking good in the ring. It seems like he's a bit out of shape, or he's got no motivation. He just doesn't want to be there. I don't know. He's returning to Raw next week, I believe, after Clash of Champions. He'll be there on Raw, so that's probably going to be the last big Raw for the next couple of weeks. So they're hyping that one up. I guess they'll announce what the match is going to be for the Rumble. But it's just been disappointing. I've just been really disappointed in Lesnar. I'm really getting tired of the German suplexes matches. And I'm a big fan of Lesnar. Trust me, I am. But even now, being a big fan of Lesnar, I'm even getting a little bit bored of it. And when you've got someone who's going so good, like Braun Strowman or Samoa Joe, who was red hot earlier in the year as well, or even Roman Reigns, you got three guys on Raw that are killing it, and Lesnar's just holding the belt and doing nothing with it. It's frustrating. It is frustrating, because there's so many matches I would like to see for that Universal Championship. I'd just like to see it defended. You know, just like to see it on TV, but we're not seeing it at all, which is really, really frustrating. But, you know, they've given Reigns the IC Championship to try and replace it for the time being. Sure, you know, it gives us title matches every now and then, but I would just like to see that world title back. Just would. And finally, just on Raw, not a lot really, as I said. It was mainly good matches, not a lot of progression elsewhere. We saw more between Woken Matt and Bray. Basically the same thing as last week. Just a little bit better production on it, I guess. Look, I don't know. Another week of this, do we really need that? I guess, you know, they're saving it and teasing it. Maybe next week we'll see Woken Matt in the ring with Bray doing something. I hope so. Because another week or two of these promos back and forth, and Matt laughing ridiculously. They clearly Vince loves the laugh, and they even uploaded a 10-hour laugh track on YouTube for everyone to see. So clearly they like the laugh, and they've got a fixation about the laugh. So we're going to hear it over and over and over for uncomfortable long periods of time. I like what they're doing so far, though, with Woken Matt. I'm liking it. I want to see more of it, so I'm not sick of it yet. It's different. I'm adjusting to it. You know, because I was never the biggest fan of it in TNA. You know, people loved the gimmick. I didn't really care much for the gimmick. I saw the Final Deletion shows and the things like that, and I thought that was cool. I thought it was okay. It was different. It was weird. It was silly. It was goofy. But I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan in the world. But definitely seeing it in WWE, you know, I was excited. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what they're going to do with it. How's it going to go? It was just intriguing. So I guess so far I'll give it a pass mark. But, you know, it's only 2 weeks in, so it's hard to really gauge it. It'll be interesting to see how it gets reacted when he's in the ring, and how Bray goes with the interactions in the ring. I'd like to see Bray have back and forth exchanges on the mic in the ring, instead of, you know, he doesn't do enough of that. Like, just back and forth promos in the ring instead of, you know, vignettes or on the screen. I'd like to see him in the ring with the mic in his hand, cutting a promo, and Matt Hardy rebuttals straight away. You know, we don't see that enough out of Bray Wyatt. I think that's, to me, probably a reason why his promos are so, you know, disconnected with the audience. People lose interest because he's just spitting a lot of, you know, dribble essentially, and no one's really responding to it. Nobody's really talking back to it. It's not really, flowing into an actual conversation. It doesn't really have any purpose. So, for me, I think if they're going to try and help Bray Wyatt out, have Matt and Bray go back and forth on the mic in the ring and, actually have a promo. Have a promo contest or battle, if you will. So, and if they do, in character, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Clearly, Matt will get the reactions. Bray's getting really bad reactions at the moment. And there's no surprise. He's had despite being WWE Champion earlier this year, he's probably had his worst year. Maybe. Debatable, but he's had a pretty bad year. Pretty bad year. Ever since the House of Horrors disaster, Bray's done literally nothing, and then he went and had this weird, wacky feud with Finn Balor, and it was, thank God we didn't get Sister Abigail, because that was really shaping up to be terrible. So, not a great year for Bray. Maybe Matt can help save it towards the end, but I think it's too little too late for Bray. Hopefully next year's better for him, but yeah, at the moment not so much. But so far the feud's been okay. But as I said, not a lot really to talk about. Absolution again on, doing their thing, trying to get Asuka to join, whatever. Still beating down everybody. Where's this going to lead to? Is Paige going to get a title shot soon? What's Alexa Bliss's role in all this? Nia Jax and Enzo teased again. Looks like Drew Gulak's going to be the number one contender for the Cruiserweights. Obviously, I guess we probably should mention it. I kind of forgot about it. It was Rich Swann. Kind of forgot all about it, but Rich Swann obviously arrested early in the week for, I guess domestic issue with his wife. They had an argument. He was trying to put her back in the car. She wanted to escape, didn't want to be around him, things like that. So just a really bad situation, and I guess a lot of people are saying, fuck Rich Swann, I want to see him fight. And I guess the other side of it, I guess innocent until proven guilty. But it's hard. It's hard. If this is true, then I guess there's no way he can really survive. With WWE really trying to take a stance on, women empowerment and things like that, there's no way Rich Swann will keep his job. He's got to go. And there's no real need to, because it's not like Rich Swann is a star. He won the Cruiserweight title, but they basically treat Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann as the same person anyways. And they pretty much showed that on Raw when they had Cedric replace Rich Swann. So if they lose Rich Swann, it just probably means Cedric will get all the opportunities instead, and no real loss. I think Rich Swann's talented, and Rich Swann, his character is such a happy-go-lucky guy. It makes me really surprised that he would do something like this, or be involved in something like this. You just wouldn't expect it from a guy like him. But I guess, as they say, it's a character, it's a gimmick. Maybe he's not happy-go-lucky backstage. I don't know. But, it's a bad situation. And if you're a fan of Rich Swann, probably not many of you out there, but it's not looking good for him. I think he'll be probably gone. You can't really have that many things are going against you, charge for that many things, have witnesses say that you did it all and things like that, and probably get off. It's going to be very, very unlikely. It could be, settled out of court or whatever, but most likely WWE will find out the truth and probably let him go. We'll move on to this week's SmackDown, and this week we saw the debut of the Yep movement. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, parody of the Daniel Bryan Yes movement, and it was a revolt against Shane McMahon. Look, I'm liking what they're doing with Shane and Daniel Bryan and Sami and Kevin. This whole GM, incident, are they going to get fired? What's Daniel Bryan really feel about the situation? He's got Shane McMahon's back, but what does he really think? They've got an interesting little storyline there. It's a bit of intrigue. What's going to happen? Shane's now the special guest referee for their match as well. Daniel Bryan's now the referee as well. So you got that dynamic. Are they going to be able to work together? Is Shane McMahon going to try and screw over Sami and Kevin? Will Daniel Bryan step in to make sure that doesn't happen? So there's a lot of possibilities for this matchup at Clash of Champions. So it's a really interesting feud. Sami and Kevin have been producing gold as well. They've been really, really good. Great performances, and I hope that they continue to really push these guys once this Shane McMahon feud is done with. Where do they go? Who wins? I guess you have to think Sami and Kevin will win somehow. Maybe Daniel Bryan strikes Shane McMahon, stops him from hitting the 3 count. Maybe, Daniel Bryan, I doubt he'll turn heel or anything like that. For me, I guess, Daniel Bryan is going to try and help, make this match fair. And maybe you could see Shane McMahon trying to get himself involved, accidentally striking Randy Orton or Nakamura, for example, and his involvement costs them the match. Sami and Kevin win. Daniel Bryan counts to 1, 2, 3. Maybe something like that. Or maybe, Randy's trying to go for the RKO, or Nakamura's trying to go for the Kinshasa. Shane McMahon gets hit instead. Nakamura gets distracted because he hits Shane. Kevin Owens, takes down Nakamura. Something like that. I'm sure it'll be a screwy finish to get the win for Sami and Kevin, which, should be the case. Clearly, if they lose, they're going to be fired from all WWE, so that's not going to happen. They're not going to get fired. But as well as that, if they did get fired, well, it'll be a storyline firing. And, maybe Daniel Bryan goes against Shane McMahon and brings them back and creating more dissension between those two. But if they did that, my only concern is what's the payoff? Is Daniel Bryan going to get in the ring and take on Shane McMahon? I doubt it. I would like to see it. GM versus GM, that's cool. Not going to happen, though. So you kind of go, what's the payoff between that? Is Shane McMahon going to face someone of Daniel Bryan's choosing? Maybe. But, there's a lot of ways this can kind of go. And like I said, the Yet movement was good again. More good promos. And they've been giving it the main event slot. They've been giving it the main slot every single week. Quite clearly, Jinder and AJ, they feel as though that's not a match big enough for a pay-per-view main event. And I'm pretty sure if it was anybody else with AJ Styles, it would be the main event. But because it's Jinder, he's lost a lot of steam. They tried to, tease that the Singh brothers weren't with AJ anymore, but AJ was too smart for it. And it looks as though the Singh brothers are back with Jinder. Kind of like, well, what's the point? Why did Jinder attack them? Whatever. So it's kind of all over the place to that. Jinder's all over the place. Will Jinder bring out a new team? Apparently the Authors of Pain have been rumoured. Will Jinder bring out new guys to help him out? New ways to win? I don't know. But, it's all over the shop. We'll get more to that when we get to our Clash of Champions predictions. Just one last little thing as well. Breezango. Looks as though their segments have been cut. Cut to the WWE Network. If you want to watch their segments, you've got to head over there. They gave a snippet of it on SmackDown, but not the full thing anymore. So, looks as though their push, I guess you could say, if you want to say that, is starting to die out. They're starting to go in a different direction, or maybe they're lost interest in doing the segments. Maybe they don't feel as though they're as popular as they were a couple of months ago. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they've lost its steam, and they're going to take on the Bludgeon Brothers and probably get destroyed at the pay-per-view. So, yeah. And to be honest, the segments Breezango were doing were all over the place as well. All over the place. So, I don't know. I can see why the crowd have kind of lost interest, because I've lost interest. I like what they're doing, and they're often funny sometimes. But, like I said, all over the place. Hard to kind of keep up with what they're trying to do. What story are they trying to tell? Alright, so we'll move on to Clash of Champions and our predictions for the show. We'll start off with our pre-show, which is Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley. Now, you have a major heel turn. A team has teased that they're going to break up for such a long period of time. When they finally do break up, you do the turn, you do the match on the pre-show. You have to be pretty disappointed if you're Zack and Mojo. Relegated to the pre-show. I haven't watched a pre-show for a pay-per-view, I think probably since WrestleMania. So I probably won't see this. And I'm sure a lot of other people won't as well, which is disappointing. Now, they didn't even do anything, I don't think, on SmackDown this week. I think maybe they did a recap. I don't know. But, so Zack and Mojo not really getting much attention, not getting much of a chance to really make this feud into anything. I think Mojo will win. I think Mojo is quite clearly the guy they see more money in, and they're going to keep going in that direction. We've got Breezango and the Bludgeon Brothers, as we just said. Harp and Rowan probably should destroy Breezango. I'm liking the Bludgeon Brothers. I think they're a great team. I think they work really well together. They've got a great theme song, great entrance. They look good in the ring. The only thing I don't like is the stupid hammers they carry, but that's fine. I can look past it. I like their finisher. I like everything. I like the act. I think it's good. I think it is good. Two monsters and as a team, probably should win those tag team titles next year. I hope so. They should win those titles. For once. About time. They should have been champions ages ago, but they might finally win those titles. And it seems as though the WWE are giving them a real chance. They're beating up a lot of local guys. So, they're building them up, and they're doing a good job at it. We've got the Usos versus the New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Gable versus Rusev and Aiden English. It's a Fatal 4-Way tag team match for the tag team titles of SmackDown. I like that every team's going to be involved at the same time. It's a traditional Fatal 4. It's a real Fatal 4-Way, not a stupid WWE Fatal 4-Way where there's two guys in, one from one team, one from the other team, and then there's two other teams doing nothing. I think that's one of the most stupidest matches the WWE has ever done. I hate it. I think it sucks. I think it's silly. It doesn't make any sense. But now, one member of each team in the ring at the same time, an actual Fatal 4-Way, probably not really going to be much of a tag match, I guess. There's going to be it's going to be pretty crazy, but I think it's going to be awesome. I like the sounds of this match. Usos and New Day, I think this is quite clearly a way just to get those two teams to interact again. Benjamin and Gable have been a bit over the place as well. I mean, are they faces? Are they heels? They're acting heelish, but I think they're still presenting them as faces. I don't know. I'm a little bit lost on these two guys. Promos were not good this week. Yeah, it's a bit over the place. And same with the Usos. Are they heels still, or are they faces? I mean, they're starting to act more babyface-ish, but still, I guess, I think included the ish by accident. But, so they're acting more babyface-like, and, but they're still their heels. I mean, it's a bit over the place. And Rusev and Aiden English is fine. They're okay. I'm liking that they've got something for these two guys to do. They're getting TV time. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think, I think you might see new champions. I don't know. I mean, the Usos, I think, should keep it. But then who do they face next? Wouldn't surprise me if maybe Rusev and Aiden English steal a victory. And then they can brag about it. Rusev Day, we're tag champs, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I think the safe money is probably on the Usos winning. Charlotte and Natalya for the 100th time this year. You'd have to say Charlotte's going to win, or this match will just be broken down because of the Lumberjacks getting involved, with the Riot Squad getting themselves involved. I think that's probably more of a safe bet as well. So I'll say Charlotte will win, but I think there's going to be some shenanigans. Corbin, Rude, Ziggler for the US title triple threat. I think Corbin should not have this title. I think he's really hurting it. I think he sucks, but, it's just me. Personally, I think Bobby Roode should hold it. I'd like to see Bobby Roode in the main event, but if he's not going to get there anytime soon, I think being the US champion would help. And I still think Roode as a face isn't working. I think him as a heel is the way to go. But if they're going to stay with him as a face, I think him as a US champion would work okay, and I think that'd be a good move to make. WWE Championship on the line, AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal. The Singh brothers, I'm guessing, will be with Jinder Mahal. God, I hope AJ wins. I've really been critical of Jinder all year, ever since this push began, and not once have I ever said Jinder deserves it or should be champion. I stand by my words. I think Jinder still is not good enough. Still sucks. Has he improved? Absolutely. He has definitely improved. He feels more comfortable out there. He's got a lot more confidence. Does he feel like a top guy yet? No. I mean, once Jinder's feud with AJ Styles ends, I really believe Jinder will go right back down the card. I don't think Jinder's going to stay up the top of the card and feud with Randy Orton again or Nakamura or whatever against a top babyface or a Bobby Roode. I don't think so. Personally, I don't even really want to see it. I don't have any desire to see Jinder do anything. So I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. And I think he's a little bit lucky that he was just, I guess, the right guy at the right time. They just wanted to try something different, and they went for it, and it worked okay. But, I think it is absolutely a failed experiment. Worth a shot, I guess so. I think there's other guys that could have invested their time in that would have been more successful. But they went for it, and I think, in hindsight, probably a bad call. I think There's just too much for Jinder to really do. It's too much for him to learn in this short space of time to get him to the top. He's not a main event guy. And sometimes you just can't force it, no matter how much you like the guy or how much you want it to happen. Sometimes the guy just isn't good enough to be in that spot. And that's the difference between an upper mid-card or a mid-card and a main eventer. Sometimes they just don't have the skills. And that's why guys that probably don't have the skills don't stay at the top for that long. You know, you could say, oh, hey, Roman Reigns is at the top. But Reigns, is a proven performer. Reigns has done it for years now. He's having good matches. He's having, he's having good performances. You could say his promos are bad, sure, but you can't deny his in-ring performances have been good. But Jinder, I don't think he's had a good match. I don't think he's had a good match as champion. So if AJ can't give him a good one on this pay-per-view, then I have no hope for Jinder. No hope. And what I would assume is probably going to be the main event, Randy and Nakamura versus Kevin and Zayn. And if, obviously, Owens and Zayn lose, they're gone. They're done. Shane and Bryan as the special guest referees, it'd have to be the main event, surely. They've kept it in the main event slot every single week. It's got the most build around it. Has to be the main event. And I think Kevin and Zayn will win. As I said earlier, with some shenanigans involved, surely something's going to go down. Something has to happen. I don't know what, but something will happen. And it'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see what happens. Or, another alternative. Shane McMahon just counts a quick count, 1, 2, 3, real quick. Randy wins. Randy or Nakamura wins, and goodbye Kevin and Sami Zayn. Shane McMahon gets what he wants, and then you create more dissension between Bryan and Shane. So, I guess that's the Clash of Champions predictions, and let me know what you guys are thinking of the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. Overall, I think it's okay. It's not that strong. Couple of good matches, yeah. The tag match will be good. And AJ and Jinder hopefully will be okay. Women's match might be alright. I think tag team match, the Fatal 4, will be really good as well. So, the tag matches might be the stars of the show. Those two matches will probably be the best matches of the show. Alright, so moving along now. Couple of little pieces of news before we move out of here. WWE announced this week a new show called WWE Mixed Match Challenge. It's going to air on Facebook. So Facebook, I think is it Facebook Live or is it just Facebook Video or something like that? If Facebook Watch, okay, it's going to air on Facebook Watch. It starts January 16th. 20-minute episodes, and it's a 12-week tournament. Now, what it is going to be where it's a tournament where all the matches are mixed tag team matches. So, a male will team up with a female, and they will compete for a chance to give $100,000 to charity. Now, I believe it's just matches, mixed match tag matches, so I don't know how the charity thing's going to work. They're just going to pick whoever they want to win, and they're just going to donate it to charity. So it's not like it's a real competition, I think. And the show will consist of a roster from both Raw and SmackDown, and Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan apparently picked competitors to be on that. Which apparently the rumor is that they're going to pair Nia Jax and Enzo up to be a part of that mixed match challenge. So, yeah. Braun Strowman, he's in it. It'll be interesting to see who teams up with Braun Strowman. I thought Nia Jax would be a good partner for Strowman, but probably go the other direction. You know what? I think it'd be funny if they had Bayley and Braun Strowman together. I think that'd be such a weird combination. So silly, so stupid, but I think it could work. I think that would work. Other combinations, I think you got to go Bobby Roode and Charlotte just because they've got the great robes or whatever. I think that'd be cool. Lana and Rusev, surely you got to do that. Nakamura, who would he team up with? Don't know. Nakamura, Becky Lynch, maybe? I don't know. But, so it's going to be interesting. I might check it out. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, does WWE really need another show? Apparently, they're pushing back 205 Live to do this. So, clearly, they've lost a bit of faith in 205 Live. But it's only for a short period of time. It's apparently a test to see if Facebook Watch can be a viable network for them for future WWE programming. And I don't think Facebook really is. I think TV is still very relevant in today's age. You could say it's all about digital media. I don't think so. I don't think not yet. I think if WWE was to put Raw and SmackDown on digital services, they would lose a lot of viewership. They would not gain. It's going to hurt them. They're going to lose out on a lot of money. You know, TV's far better. TV just offers better advertising, more money in TV than there is in digital. You know, ads on digital do not cost as much as they do on TV, I believe. I'm just not speaking from knowledge. I'm just guessing there. But from my experiences anyways. So there's more money to be had in television, and it's still, if you've got 3 million every single week watching Raw, I wouldn't risk that, especially right now, WWE. And the only thing I would do is if I'd upgrade to a better network, a bigger network other than USA. If you can get that, sure. If not, stay with what you're doing. Trying to go to a Netflix or a Facebook Watch or a YouTube, it's not going to work. There's just, you might think it will work, but, if they went to YouTube, yes, YouTube might pay them a lot of money to put the show on their channel, on their, service, but it's, they're not going to make as much money, surely. If they get 5 million viewers a week on YouTube, that's international-wise and whatever, they're just not going to make as much money. I just can't see that being a good business move. So they're testing this out, and look, if they want to do more digital shows, little side shows like this, sure. But moving their big 2 shows, Raw and SmackDown, I can't see it happening. I wouldn't do it. Maybe in 10 more years' time when TV really starts to fade. But for right now, TV is very, very relevant still. And probably will be, for, like I said, for at least another 10. I think longer. But, everyone's got TV in some capacity. Not everyone's using them anymore. A lot of people want to consume their content online. And I do too. I don't watch a lot of TV. I, will find my shows online, yes. But I think if you're looking to get the, money-wise and looking to get the best potential viewership, I think you got to stay on a network. But, look, it's worth a try, and it's something different. We haven't seen a lot of mixed matches. I thought I read that they were going to be doing different challenges, strength challenges and things like that. I don't know. But I'm looking on the Wikipedia. Yes, it's Wikipedia. But I'm looking on there, and they're saying it's mixed matches. So, I don't know. I was reading a few different things. I wasn't 100% sure about it. The video explaining it really didn't do anything. Didn't do any explaining at all. So, yeah. But that'll be something to check out in the new year anyway. Something different to see. Probably will go on the network maybe a week after or something like that. Maybe after the whole tournament's done, and maybe they'll put it on the network. Other piece of news, TMZ is reporting that Ronda Rousey is not even close to signing with WWE yet. I say this is a load of crap because, look, Ronda Rousey, quite clearly, she's been at the Performance Center multiple times. She's working out, she's training, she's, been on the Mae Young Classic, things like that. She's been involved. And if she is training to be in the ring, to be a wrestler, I highly doubt that, she would be not even close to signing a WWE deal to be a part of WrestleMania or something like that. For me, I think at Royal Rumble, they're going to do a Women's Royal Rumble for the first time. Ronda Rousey will be a surprise entrant, and she'll win the Royal Rumble, and she'll go on to take on the champion at WrestleMania, whoever that will be. Maybe it's Charlotte. And they do that match. Probably Ronda will win. Well, 100% Ronda will win. And, there you go. Ronda's a part of the women's division. Maybe she's like Lesnar, has a couple matches, maybe loses, whatever. I don't know. But I think that's one way they could debut her. If you wanted to make the Women's Rumble special, that's how I would do it. Have a surprise entrant on the level of Ronda Rousey would be huge. Absolutely. And it seems so that's the plan. With all these new women that debut, that's the rumored plan. They would like to do a Women's Rumble. And I wouldn't be against it. If they've got enough women there, I would hate for them to do a Rumble and have no surprises or no legends or anything like that involved. I would hate for that. In fact, that would really annoy me, to be honest with you. Because then it's just, standard women's. There's no excitement about it, whatever. So, if they were going to do something like that, Ronda being involved would be really, really big. And I think it'd be good. I think Ronda will probably have a handful of matches. Personally, I wouldn't give her the championship, but I could see them doing it just to say that she won the Women's Championship, just to have that on her, accolade. And they could always say that and refer to that, some of the great women's champions over the years, such as Trish Stratus, Lita, and Ronda Rousey. You know, I think they'd like to have that. So it wouldn't shock me if they went with that direction. And like I said, Women's Rumble will be one way to do it. I think she's definitely coming. She's going to have a match. Whether it's this WrestleMania or next, most likely this. If she's been training since this whole Mae Young thing, then she would have at least a good, 6 months under her belt or something like that, which is not a lot of time, but, you know, when you're an MMA fighter, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but, you know a lot of holds, you know a lot of moves, you know a lot of basics. She's obviously a big fan of wrestling, so she'd know a lot of it already. It's just about starting to master the basics and, taking bumps well, selling and things like that. Those are the things that probably the hardest things to learn. So, yeah, she'll get that eventually, and, she can just quite easily have a quick matchup, just put someone in an armbar and win quickly, and there you go. So, probably doesn't even have to really do that much. Other piece of news, Bobby Lashley, Ethan Carter 3, EC3, better known as, potentially could be leaving Impact when their contracts are expiring in the beginning of next year. Rumor is that they'd like to come back to the WWE. Now, my question is, does WWE want them? And would you sign them? If you're in Vince McMahon's shoes right now, would you look at these two guys? For me personally, absolutely. Lashley is in his 40s, yes. But hey, they've brought in Bobby Roode, they've brought in Austin Aries, AJ Styles. These guys are around 40, brought them in, and they're successful. They've been successful for the most part. So, I don't think age is really an issue. He's been a part of the WWE before, doesn't need to go to NXT or anything like that. And could straight away come in, he's got the size about him, probably be a heel and be a threat. Be a championship threat, and you could have him have one big run for a year, maybe 2 or 3 years, something like that. Big run, be a legitimate threat to the championship. You could do Lesnar and Lashley, a match I'm sure people wouldn't mind seeing. I'd like to see it. Yeah, sure. And go for it. I think it'd be a good idea. I think Lashley's come a long way. He's, wrestling's improved a lot. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the voice for a promo. If they had another Paul Heyman type character for him, fantastic, but they don't really. So that's where he's going to be kind of let down a little bit. But I think it'd be great. I think he would be great. I was a big fan of Lashley when he was in the WWE, and even when he left, I followed his career a little bit as well. So, and he's had a fair amount of success as well in MMA. So, he's got some legitimacy about him, and he's been one of the guys who's carried Impact for the last number of years. EC3, 34 years of age. I think he's got star written all over him. I think he really could be a major star for WWE. I'm not saying, Cena or anything like that, but I think he could be a main event guy for them. Has a good look, good size, charismatic, pretty much everything you want in a wrestler. I don't know how good his in-ring performances are. I haven't really seen a hell of a lot of his matches in recent times, but I haven't heard that much, negatives about him. I think if they brought him back, I could see him going to NXT, because he's a bit of an unproven talent in WWE. And yes, he's had success at Impact, but I'm thinking they probably want to see more of him before they gave him the jump. And also, they could refine his character, find a character for him to play, a new name. Please, I hope they don't use Derek Bateman, because that name's terrible. But just kind of refine his character, find himself in NXT, and gain a bit of that cult following as well. So when they bring him up, he'll have that fan base behind him. Whereas Lashley's kind of a little bit more known. So, yeah, I could see them going with that direction. And they definitely won't see him use Ethan Carter. I don't see them doing that. I don't think they want to have Dixie Carter's name involved in any type of way. So I don't think we'll see Ethan Carter, but a different name other than Derek Bateman would be very, very much so welcomed. But I personally would like to see both come back. Both come back to the WWE, more the merrier. And they've signed a lot of guys that, a lot of indie guys that look the same, but Lashley, he's jacked up, he's, athletic, he's legitimate. I think they're looking at more legitimate MMA people. I think they like that. I think they believe that's one of the little holes, little gaps they've got in their roster that they want to try and fill a little bit more. So I think Lashley would be perfect there. And Ethan Carter, I think, obviously was in their developmental system and didn't have any success. went away, had that success, proved himself, elsewhere, a little bit like Drew McIntyre. So if they brought back Drew McIntyre, they've got to bring back Ethan Carter. Last but not least, and probably my favorite thing that happened this week in wrestling, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega. Wow, what a week they had. They had the epic showdown in the ring. Jericho beat the crap out of Kenny Omega, code breakers, cut him open, beat him up. Code breaker Don Callis just went ballistic in Japan, and afterwards you had the press conference where Jericho and Omega had a brawl. Jericho threw the table at Omega and then cut a mean promo afterwards. Really good, old school stuff. I loved it, man. Really, really good. I'm really liking this build towards Jericho and Omega. And look, to be honest, never seen a Kenny Omega match. I've seen a few snippets and things like that. And sometimes, for me personally, you hear about a guy so much. Hear all about him. Constantly people raving on about how good he is. Your expectations are always going to be, super high in that situation. So you're always going to be disappointed. So I haven't really gone out of my way to watch Kenny Omega or Okada. I've seen a little bit of Okada, but not too much of Kenny Omega. But I'm intrigued. Chris Jericho, big fan of Jericho, always have been, always will be. So I've got the interest right there. I want to see Jericho. I want to see him working with Kenny Omega. So it gives me a chance to see how Kenny Omega goes, how he works, how he performs, and if I like him or not. So I will definitely be watching, and I'm really liking the build-up so far. It's been really good. And I think this is the big match. I think for New Japan, I think they missed a bit of a trick in not having this on pay-per-view. I think they could have had a really good buy rate. I think New Japan's going really well. It's developing well. It's starting to really progress well in America. And this is the type of match they need to get them in this US market. And I guess for them not to really focus on delivering that pay-per-view, it's kind of annoying. I think they're having it on some network 2 days after the event's over. I don't know which one. I forget. I'm not American, so I don't know. But, so they've got it there. It's going to be available 2 days after the event's gone live, which is okay anyways. So, maybe they felt felt as though it wasn't necessarily to have that on pay-per-view. But I think they missed out on a bit of a financial opportunity there to have it on pay-per-view. But, look, I think it's going to be big. I think Jericho and Omega is a great match. I don't even know any of the other matches on the card. Don't even really care. I'm just there to watch that one, and I think it'll be good. Be interested to see if Jericho can keep up with Omega. I'm starting to worry. Jericho's still good. He's still good, but obviously showing his age a little bit at times. Just kind of wondering, can he keep up with Omega? I think they've done a smart thing in hyping this up as a fight rather than a technical 5-star match, because I think Jericho probably wouldn't be able to deliver that type of match, that 5-star epic. But if it's a fight, if it's a bloodied match, if it's just an all-out brawl, it'll be something really cool to see. It's something a bit different for New Japan as well. So I think that's more exciting to me than a 5-star, technical classic where they get all their shit in and, do some great acrobatics. That type of stuff doesn't interest me. I want to see these two guys, simulate a fight. And so far, the build-up has kind of shown that's probably going to be the case. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we might wrap up this week's show there. As we said, we will do a show next week. I didn't get to your questions this week, but we will do more questions next week. I didn't, obviously, because I forgot about the show this week, I didn't put up the Facebook questions, so that's where the majority of our questions come from. So next week I will do that. So make sure you do leave a question for next week's show. We'll be recapping Clash of Champions and Lesnar's return and whatever. A lot more coming up next week as well. So if you have a question, put one in the comment section down below. Remember to check out the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums. Join up for free, and you can go ahead and continue the wrestling discussion over there. I always give my opinions on there. It's always a lot of fun chatting about Raw or whatever's the latest in the news. We've even got people posting their own TWs and things like that, their own diaries and their own, playthroughs. It's really, really fun. So if you want to, go ahead and check all that out, you can do so. BrendenPlayz.com/forums. You can even leave a question for next week's show there as well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening in, and I will see you all next Thursday.